Hey, everybody. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the LABizSOS podcast. It's been a few weeks since episode 20, and today I've got something special to share. After months of underwriting, paperwork, and waiting for that one email that could change everything, I finally heard from the bank, and they've officially issued our credit memo for the SBA loan, which means we're cleared to move forward with the acquisition. So that's right. The deal is alive, it's approved, and it's ready to roll. And before I talk about what's next in the deal process, I want to take a moment to look back because this journey didn't start with the loan application. It started with a mission, the beginning of SOS Louisiana. When I founded SOS Louisiana, it wasn't just about buying businesses, it was about protecting stories, protecting legacies, the kind that built this state that I've made my home. I've seen too many and heard too many stories, read too many articles about businesses that closed their doors uh, because the owners didn't have a clear path to transition, not because they weren't successful businesses. They had the heart, they had the legacy, they had the finances, but they did not have the roadmap. So I decided to build one, to create a process that helps owners sell with dignity, preserve jobs, and keep their businesses in local hands, local Louisiana hands. And that's how Save Our Shops Louisiana was born, out of a belief that our small businesses are more than balance sheets. They're family legacies, community anchors, and living proof of the resilience of Louisiana, Louisiana people, Louisiana grit, and Louisiana pride. My first acquisition opportunity came from a specialty construction company, a business built on craftsmanship, quality, pride, decades of hard work, loyalty to his customers and from his staff. The owner is ready to retire, but he wanted to make sure that his people were taken care of. That was important to him. He has family engaged in this company. So we spent time together. We walked through the shop, we reviewed the equipment, we talked about customers and planning how that transition would unfold. And it felt right. It felt good to me. It felt like the kind of business SOS Louisiana was meant to acquire and to protect. And then came underwriting. And that's where patience became a real test. Weeks of document requests, weeks of clarifications, and the hardest part, the absolute hardest part, the weeks of silence where there was nothing. And I'm trying to reach out and I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to understand the process a little bit more. And it's strange how heavy silence feels when your future is tied to it, or you're tying your future to it, I should say. But patience isn't passive, it's preparation. I heard that somewhere before and always try to remember it. Patience isn't passive, it's preparation. It's the discipline to stay ready while the rest of the world catches up. Uh, Love that saying. So the turning point, as far as last week, the moment arrived. I finally get the credit memo, or the call that the credit memo is issued, the official green light to move forward with the SBA loan. I didn't celebrate with champagne or fireworks, of course. I just kind of have to let it sink in that the weight of the journey so far, the relief and the gratitude, not to mention the new responsibility of taking on not just this deal, but someone's legacy, the team's livelihood, and another Louisiana story that we get to protect. Uh, and that's all weighing in on me now. I think there's been so much going on in my life, professionally and personally, as I go through this process, that it has been weighing on me, and it's good that that's finally moving on. That weight can be lifted. So what's next in the acquisition process? Well, now that the credit memo is approved, here's what happens next. First, a commitment letter. The bank sends the official terms of the loan and the closing conditions in order to move forward. There is real estate involved in this deal, so there has to be an appraisal and an environmental review done. That's a third party expert who confirms the property and the equipment values. Then there's the final credit sign off from the bank to finalize that credit package. Legal and closing prep. So my attorneys drafting closing documents, purchase agreement, two separate purchase agreements in this case because of the real estate and then the business itself or the goodwill value in this case, and verify the corporate records, right? So they're creating those documents, verifying those corporate records, the new entities that I'm creating as part of this acquisition because we're acquiring, again, just the assets, not the entire company. And then there's the seller transition, the kickoff. We begin the 90-day transition plan that we discussed in previous episodes, starting with orientation, document handover, and facility walkthrough, and then closing day. We sign, fund, officially take ownership, keys are passed over, uh, and each of these steps are milestones, and every milestone is again built on the patience, preparation, and persistence to get this far. It is not an easy process. And I would encourage you, if you're thinking about acquiring a business, to go through it. Happy to share more of my experience with you. Just reach out, let me know, comment on the video, and happy to connect and help anyone else. And again, this is acquisition number one in my journey, but it's an important one because it sets the tone, sets the pace. So, things learned thus far from the journey. It's taught me that patience isn't about waiting quietly, it's about leading confidently while the world catches up, as I mentioned before. When you're calm, your team stays calm, the people around you stay calm. When you're steady, your partners learn to trust you. And when you're focused, then your deal moves forward. So, patience is leadership on those principles. It's the ability to stay composed even when the timeline isn't yours. Otherwise, this would have been done months ago, right? And it's the reason that we're where we are today and ready to move forward. Louisiana business owners know patience better than anyone. I think they've weathered storms and floods and droughts and economic swings, and yet we keep rebuilding. That resilience is what makes Louisiana businesses special. And I'm excited and eager to become part of that Louisiana based entrepreneur. It's what drives the Save Our Shops Louisiana mission to keep buying local, preserving jobs, and protecting the stories that built this state. So, if you're in a season of waiting for a loan, for a deal, for a breakthrough, don't mistake patience for inactivity. Patience is preparation, patience is discipline, patience is strategy, patience is leadership, and patience is power. And right now, patience is exactly what's keeping our acquisition and our mission moving forward. That's really our episode this week. Again, thrilled to announce that we're moving forward with acquisition number one. Once the commitment letter is completed from the bank, I intend to move forward with seeing if the owner would participate in our discussions here. So, hopefully, a future episode will be able to share pretty much all details around this deal, the name of the business, the owner selling, hopefully even have him on the podcast to talk about his journey to get this far and the process moving forward, be able to share a lot more of that eventually. Of course, the goal to come from on site at our new business location. So again, thanks for joining us. Thanks for following the mission so far. Don't forget to like, subscribe to all of our social media. It means a lot. It really helps us get the word out there. Every time you like, subscribe, and share, it really helps us get the message out there. So that's it for this week. We'll see you next.